Hello. FYI, this ain't no formal Sister Mimons episode. This is a short one. The timing is not a coincidence. A new year is upon us, and it's been well over a year since my last episode showed up here. A whole hell of a lot has happened since you last heard from me here. Many of you have some awareness of all of that. Many of you don't. So I thought it would be good to check in, tell you above all how much I love you and I miss you all. I also wanted to notify you that I have canceled my website, sistermimons.com, which probably only a couple of you were aware of at all, and that's fine. I had actually established sistermimons.com before starting the Sister Mimons YouTube channel, and it was all part of a plan that I actually want to explain to you what I was thinking in creating these things 3 years ago. I want to get into that, but I don't want to get into all that today. Today, I just want to tell you that website is no more, but I'm taking all the content from it and I'll be moving it to a new location. What most of you probably don't know is that while I have not been producing Sister Mimons podcasts or really writing anything directly for sistermimons.com over the last year and a half almost, I have been working hard. A little over a year ago, I started a Substack called Phone School, and that is where I've been putting all my work for the last year. Maybe you've seen it. If you haven't, you could guess that the primary topic is examining and discussing not just what the presence of phones in schools over the last 13, 14 years did to our kids and to our school cultures, but it goes way beyond that, I think, into some interesting spaces like, what does it say about all of us that we really did? We all looked the other way while this happened, not just at our schools, but across our society. What does that mean? How do we come to terms with that, and how do we begin to fix it? I think that's the subject of Phone School, but it's not all just philosophy. It actually turned into reporting at one point, and I think Phone School will continue to function in that way. But this is the Sister Mimons podcast, so I'm not going to talk anymore about that here. You can go check out everything I've written if you like. Otherwise, know that what I'll be doing is starting another Substack, and I'll be moving what I think are the best elements of Sister Mimons and the Sister Mimons podcast into that space, as well as a lot of, especially my more philosophical takes on childhood and my own childhood. From Phone School, I'll be moving that into my new Substack as well. I haven't even created this new space yet, but I can tell you now that it will be called 16th and Iowa. Here's the logo. And we should probably talk a tiny bit about the significance of the name. Residents of the west side of Colorado Springs will get it, I hope, I assume, because they'll know that I grew up at the corner of 16th Street and Kiowa Street in Colorado Springs. That's 16th and Kiowa. All right, so subtract a K, you get 16th and Iowa. I like this name, but why this name, and why do I like it? It's obviously clever as hell, but honestly, I like it. I love it because it conveys exactly where I'm at or where I'm not at right now in my life. 16th Street is in Colorado Springs, on the west side of Colorado Springs, my neighborhood in my hometown, and I'm in Iowa. I lived there for 25 years, and I've lived here for almost 14 years. I've built a family here, and my parents are there. And for quite a while, this was okay. It was better than okay. For quite a while, I was thriving here. I felt fine here. I felt important at work, and I couldn't ask for a better family. But even when things were going good, before 2020, I never felt at home here. And the longer I've been gone from home, and the more the world has changed, the less I feel at home when I'm home. So where am I? I'm in between states. I hope this isn't taken as an attempt to elicit sympathy. I have been obviously and exceedingly lucky in my life. I'm saying these things now and starting this project, 16th in Iowa, for a number of reasons, and one of them is to help myself resolve this. My soul feels stretched across 700 miles. We will get way into all of this in the coming months and years on 16th and Iowa. I am going to begin the discussion here today, though, on the Sister Mimons podcast, and I'm going to do so by pulling in a project I created for work a couple of months ago. If you don't know, or if you've forgotten, I now work for Simpson College, which is a small liberal arts school about 15 miles south of Des Moines. And I work there for a program called TRIO. We serve as advisors and sort of program coordinators for first-generation college students, low-income students, and students with disabilities. I'm very grateful for this job, and like teaching, I think what I'm most grateful for are the cool-ass people that I've come to know through the job. I have some very cool students, some very cool advisees. My core group is 3 boys, Daniel, Moises, and Dylan. These are great kids. They're straight-A students. They're all shitheads, but they really care about the little things at the same time, and I love that about them. I wouldn't let them around me if they didn't. Anyway, 2 months ago, I made a short film about Dylan as a piece of promotional media for our program. I'm really proud of this film, and in a moment, I'm going to make you watch it, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. I have told you flatly, plainly, that I don't feel at home in Iowa, and I think I've implied that I actually have felt less at home here over the last 3 or 4 years than I previously did. You need to know that one reason for this is that I feel like I have almost no friends in Iowa now. My Iowa friends should not be offended when they hear this. If you live here and you feel yourself to be my friend, you absolutely are, and I love the shit out of you. I think you can probably handle me saying that as much as I love my friends here, I'm missing something. Keep this in mind as I cue up the film. And for those of you who have known me for a long time, you might remind yourself now, before you watch this film, of what we all went through just before I went off to college in 2001. This little film is about Dylan's experience as a freshman at Simpson College in 2023 and 2024. And it reminded me a lot of my own experience as a freshman at Colorado College in 2001. Okay, here's Dylan. You should actually watch this. The filmmaking is rudimentary for sure, but the storytelling, I'm really proud of that. I think you'll love it. Give it a chance, and then let's talk.
I missed the people that I met here and the friends I made and the connections I made, because all year last year, my first year, when I first came here, I originally wasn't planning on meeting too many people or making too many friends, because I had a really strong connection to my friends back in Des Moines, and since I'm not too far away, it's like a 20-minute drive, I was like, I'll just go here, I'll go to school here, I'll probably just stay in my dorm. My friends back home, like the people that I talk to, like outside of school, like I hang out with them and just go out and do things with them, like go hang out somewhere, like if we all go to the mall or if we all go play basketball, if we all go hang out at someone's house. And I have a lot of those friends like back home, and so that's kind of what I consider a real friend, someone I see myself talking to outside of the situation in which we met in. With my school friends, I only saw myself being friends with them inside of school, and I never could see it going out. I'll hang out with a lot of my friends at my friend Phoenix's house. That's where we all get together for the most part, and then plans stem out from there. We'll go play basketball at Grace Church or go to the mall. Or my friend Phoenix, I met him when I was in 7th grade, and he's a year younger than me, so he was an incoming 6th grader to middle school, and he's cousins with my other friend Jaden, and I've known Jaden since I was 8 years old. We've been playing baseball together since then. But then I have my other friends, like my friend Diego, who I've known my whole life since I was in preschool, and my friends Trey and David. And we've all kind of kept that same friend group. We kept that all throughout elementary school. And then when we got to middle school, I met my friends like Phoenix, my friends Amari and William, and that's also where I met Moises Gonzalez Garcia. Feeling where it's like, I already have all my friends. I didn't feel the need to make any more, and along with that I also felt like I didn't know how to make friends because I hadn't really made any new friends since middle school, and when I came here I felt like I was restarting all the way over, and I was like, I don't know how to do that. I don't remember how to make friends, and so I was worried coming here. I was like, I'm just not even going to try because I don't know how. February 2nd is when she died, and they were all very supportive, and they were always there for me. And I get like texts occasionally, like I've saved messages from like anniversary dates like a year since, or like her birthday, Mother's Day, stuff like that from my friends, just letting me know that they're thinking about me that day. And they were all at her funeral because they all knew my mom, because like my friends from baseball, they all knew my mom because their moms were friends with my mom. And then like even my friends that didn't play baseball, like my mom would always give us rides places and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I had no written speech, I had nothing in front of me, and I was nervous because there was a few hundred people there. So I kind of just started telling stories about my mom. The first time I ever hit a home run in one of my baseball games, I hit 2 in the same game, and I just talk about how I remember her being the only voice I could hear from the crowd, and how when I'm rounding the bases, I could see her jumping up and down, and like I've never seen her jump higher before. And one thing I talked about was how, despite her sickness, she never stopped being a mom, and how she would still give up anything to make sure I was okay, how she was always making sure I was fed, always making sure I was home safe, and had a ride to and from places. And even though she was sick, she never missed one of my baseball games. Like when I was looking out into the crowd of people, like I could see my friends, and then that made me think of like how my mom would treat them, and how she looked at my friends as her own kids, and she would always treat them with the same respect that she would treat me or my brother. And whenever they would come over, she would always make sure they were fed, always make sure they were safe, and she'd always want to see them succeed, similarly to how she'd want to see me succeed. She always wanted the best for them. I don't know the right word for it, but it just created a stronger bond, because meeting new people, it's just weird telling them about my backstory and things that have happened to me. And my friends that were there for me, that were at my mom's funeral and were with me through that whole process, they just knew what was going on because they were associated with me as that was happening. And it's not like I met them after the fact and it comes up in some conversation and I have to explain everything. They were just there for it, and so there's no explanation needed for that.
My friend Caden. I think it's funny because me and Caden went to high school together, and we never talked once in high school. And we come here and we become really good friends. We go play basketball. We've all gotten into pickleball recently, and then like I'll just go hang out up in his room and we'll play video games or whatever. Make Walmart trips together. Just do random stuff. Go to the library where we never get any work done, but it's the thought that counts. Victor, another person in the same situation I went to high school with, never talked to him in high school. We're roommates now. We just play card games, play board games, go on Walmart trips, just. And with Vic, I always feel bad about this because I didn't know he went to East. That's right. I thought he went to Lincoln for some reason. So I asked him one day, he's like, I went to East. He's like, I knew who you were. And that just made me feel bad. I was friends with Moises in high school, but ever since we've gotten here, I feel like we've gotten way closer than we ever were in high school. Just because we spend so much time together, being roommates, and when I give him rides to and from school. Well, me and Vic are both in trio because we come from similar backgrounds with the schooling and being first gen and that stuff, and so that's kind of a shared experience between us. And I don't know, because everyone at East is kind of going to do the same things, so it's kind of hard to bond with people just off of that. And it's different when you get to college when that's not the case. Not everybody here goes to do the same stuff, and not everybody here has the same background. Trio was a big help in last year because I was still kind of in the middle of feeling lonely and that I was never going to make any friends here. And then one day after Foundations, I don't even remember, but one day after Foundations 2, Moises brought me in here and it just changed my whole year. It was great, and then I seen how many people come in here and how the vibes were always awesome. I was like, I think I need this in my life, and so I started coming here every day. I met amazing people. I met Danny, which I think it's awesome that me and Danny are friends, even though he's older than my brother. I just think that's awesome. I love Danny. It's nice to be around people, especially with the feelings that I was having last year of being lonely. It's really easy to make friends in trio, and it helped me with my school. I have thought about that a lot because all of my friends back home don't go to school. Like, there's 2 of them that do, but the majority of them don't. And because it's like they aren't making new friends out at school, but I am. It's a lot easier to make friends when you're an adult, when you go to school, but I don't think there's ever going to be a point where I'm not friends with my friends back home. Like, whether we see each other or we don't, no matter how long passes in between seeing each other, we always pick back up right where we left off. And I just think we've all been through too much together, because there's a lot of stuff that's happened, like with all of us. Like, we've had friends die, like family deaths in our families, and we've just been friends for so long. I think I got really blessed with the friend group that I found back in Des Moines. I feel like I'm very blessed with the people I've met here, so I think I'm very lucky.
Okay, so I called the filmmaking rudimentary, and you probably found it that part of why that was the case, it's partly because I'm just learning how to use that software, and I've never been great with computers, machines, but it is partly because I never expected to make such a long and sort of in-depth film about Dylan. It just sort of happened, and I had limited footage, limited everything. I just went for it. And the reason I went for it is because he gave me personally so much to think about. The great theme of his interview, right, is that it's very difficult to make new friends after you've had great friends, and especially after you've gone through something serious with those friends. Something so serious beyond just spending time with them, something so serious that it bonds you in ways you can't explain, you can't articulate. Dylan went through that when he lost his mother in high school, and he went through that with his friends. One thing I want to note is that Dylan also went through that during COVID, during the quarantine. Can you imagine? He didn't mention that. You hear him describe coming to Simpson and having difficulty even conceiving of the idea of making new friends after having grown so close to his friends back home over time, and as they went through very serious things together, including the passing of his mother. How could I not relate to this? Rob died and Blaine was murdered right before I went off to college. Spring of 2001. I had the greatest group of friends, and that's so much of what we're going to talk about on 16th in Iowa. And then we went through something together which was brutal and horrifying and shattering. And for those of us who survived it, it brought us together in ways we'll never be able to explain. And I see more clearly now than ever, and this is in large part because of what Dylan had the courage to share with me, I see why my time at Colorado College was so fucking hard. Why it felt so alone at a time when I should have been having the time of my life. And why I couldn't quit my childhood friends. And I never will. Dylan brought all that up for me. I don't think he knew he was doing it. I didn't know he was doing it. It just happened by the fountain there. And then because I'm 41 and I've now lived multiple lives, I realized I've been through this process at least twice. In 2001, especially after Blaine was taken away, I had no desire to move on, to make new friends. I know I tried, especially while I was drunk, but it was impossible to explain what I'd been through, how I felt. I did not want to get to know anyone new. I gotta tell you, this is how I've come to feel at age 41, living in central Iowa. It's not just that I don't have many friends or any close friends here. It's that I don't even want any. I don't want to try to make any, and I know that's not right. I know it's not healthy to feel this way, and I don't want to feel this way anymore. If you know me at all, you know that I've been through some serious shit, and I was put through some serious shit, and I survived some serious shit here in Iowa over the last 3 years. More than anything, this experience affected my relationship with the concept of trust. I cannot deny this, but you could see how this would affect my willingness to let people into my life. As I heard Dylan describe thinking he could just walk through his life at Simpson without making any connections, without making any friends, it made me think about how lately I've come to try not to learn people's names when I meet them. I have to admit this. I won't pretend to know all the reasons for this here, but I know I have a strong sense that a big part of it is, of course, what I went through with Des Moines Public Schools. It's so incredibly complex. For now, all I'll try to say is that challenging experiences can be so revealing, right? Obviously they can. And what I went through with DMPS and at Lincoln High School, that experience revealed to me quite a bit, of course, about the people who I thought were my friends at work, but it also ended up telling me a whole lot about who my real friends were, period. Who they were and are. This is not crazy. This is how life works. Whether it's 100% fair or not, what I went through at Lincoln has made me cynical about forming new friendships. In general, but especially here in Des Moines, where the damage was done. Dylan made me think about all this and how it's not what I want but it's obviously not a problem that will be easily solved. I don't want anybody in Iowa hearing this and rushing over to my house to give me a hug. The issue runs deep as hell. But I am interested in actively, even semi-publicly, attempting to resolve it. For one, because I enjoy such projects, it's obvious that I do. The other reason is I have this sneaking suspicion that I'm not at all alone, in that I'm in my midlife, I'm a man, I feel extremely alone, and for whatever reason, I've sort of given up on friendship. I've heard similar things from various friends around the country, and American male loneliness is now an open topic, is it not? But I'm not sitting in the basement playing video games. I have not checked out of reality, but I do feel pretty fucking alone within it. And for any dudes out there who might feel like me, I'm interested in resolving this. Maybe if I figure out a path, my path could help you find yours. Who knows, man? And this is just one thing I want to attempt. I have so many ideas, and my heart is swelling, to be honest. Let us say nothing definitive about Iowa or Colorado, or about home or friendship, now or perhaps ever. Let's just think about all these things as we start a new year. How did we get here? If we don't like it, how can we begin to fix it in a way that doesn't burn down the future or ignore the past? I'm excited for 2025. I'm excited for all of this. Let's play you out to some unlicensed reggae music, just like old times. Thanks to Dylan. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I love your thoughts on your diet. A shout out to the whole cult, of course. It will be so funny and meaningful to look back on these years. I'm convinced of that, fellas. And the biggest shout out, as always, goes to the West Side. Happy New Year to all you West Side boys and your families. Everything Dylan said about his East Side boys, I feel the same for you, plus 20 years. I'm very glad to have survived this long. And we're going to keep working on closing the distance, whatever that means.
Be smart.